Hello and welcome back to the fifth episode of What is K-pop, where we just sort of decide what K-pop means and what it means to us. We learn about different K-pop groups. Eventually we'll learn the history of companies, talk about groups' discographies, the members individually, and just generally where I feel like K-pop and the world of K-pop, what it means to me, myself. Now, I do actually have a few things that I want to speak about before I start. Obviously, as you know, I film or I record primarily in my living room, my family's living room. So I don't know how long I'll have to record like the first part of it. I have to go wake my mum up in like 25 minutes, so potentially for that amount of time. But I will say, obviously, when there is a break, and you realistically should just like record it all in one go, but such is the way of life when you still live with your parents and they're living their life and you're trying to live yours. So that's that part. Also, in about 2 months' time, I am going to tell you the episode that is going to be uploaded in 2 months' time. It's going to be about the third generation K-pop group Astro, and it's going to be uploaded on a certain date, and I just want Astro's fans to be aware of that and to take care when listening to that episode, because my plan is to upload that episode on that date. I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be I guess like a bonus episode where I am talking pretty much about a lot of different things. It's going to be like probably over an hour long, probably split up into a few parts, just because like I'm going to be recording it over the next 2 months just so that I have everything. So I want it to be known now that that is coming, and I will obviously like tell you more when it comes nearer the time. And if we do eventually end up with doing this podcast until my birthday, there's going to be a bonus episode all about me and my life and how I got into K-pop. So if you're still around here in about 6 months' time, so I'm probably going to do this for the rest of the year, feel free to stick around, and you get to hear about the actual person who's behind telling you about these groups. So, as you can see by the title, today's episode is going to be about Sserafim, or Sserafim, or I'm Fearless, but in a very strange way. Sserafim debuted nearly 2 years ago on the 2nd of May 2022, originally with 6 members. Those 6 members were Chaewon, Sakura, Yunjin, Kazuha, Garam, and Unchae. About 2 weeks after their debut, and I believe it was on the 16th of May, one of the members, Kim Garam, was put on I think it was originally stated a mental health hiatus, and so Sserafim, they continued to promote their debut track, Fearless, for the next few weeks without Garam. However, they would never actually perform as 6 again, as Kim Garam was removed from the group on the I don't know the exact. I literally just watched a video about it as well, which makes it even worse. Late June, and I actually was on a holiday when I found this out. Oh my god, it was literally okay. So for anyone who is also English or British or whatever, 2 years ago we had 2 days which like of like this massive overwhelming heat wave. It was all around Europe and stuff. So like for the first time in my living memory, the temperature was 40 degrees, like 40 degrees Celsius. And I was on holiday at that point. I was on holiday in Norfolk. So I was in a fucking a caravan when it was 40 degrees. And oh my god, me and my sister, it had gotten to about like 2 or 3 o'clock, and my sister comes through to me and she says to me, Sophie, do you want to go and sit in the bath? And so me and my sister, we sit in the bath of our hut, whilst my dad and my mum are sitting out in the living room. We've got our feet in like ice cold water, and like every 10 or so minutes, they would just hear like this scream coming from the bathroom. And it was basically my sister, like we had obviously taken our own towels on holiday with us, because obviously like the holiday place doesn't give you many towels. They only give you like one set of towels, like a body towel and one you stand on each. And there was it was like an eight person hut, so there was 8 sets of towels. We brought our own towels. She had dunked this towel in the freezing cold water and like had me put it round my shoulders, and I was just screaming at the coldness. It was that like bad, but it was bad for like the first couple of seconds, and then it was like pure relief. It was that warm. And honestly, if I was to ever show my face, or like if anyone was to meet me out, like I'm white. I'm just gonna say it now. I'm white, and I am white British. Um, I basically am so pale that when I get scared, my parents are just like, "You are as white as a sheet." Like, screw when I'm actually pale, because I'm translucent. So that was a completely irrelevant. Yeah, no, no, it was a relevant point, Sophie. Of course, it was a relevant point. So when I tell you, literally, I remember it was about 8 o'clock, and like me and my parents, we had gone out of the hut to go and see the sea. It would be the only time of that entire day that I would go out, and I would go and see the sea. We would come back, and I instantly just sat in front of the stand fan that we had in the lounge, and I went to go and change. So I had this pink dress on. I went to go change into a yellow dress, and by the time we were in the bath, I changed into this jumpsuit. It was that tragic. And the problem was is that there was 2 days in which we had like the really hot weather. But it was the second day that it was like significantly worse. And I can't, like, I love how I'm like explaining this, and yet I've not even gotten on to the point of this like conversation. So anyway, we were on holiday, and I was just scrolling on like K-pop news, because I like to do that, and that's how like I find out about most of the things that happen. Because I'm not really on Twitter that much. Like I have like a K-pop dedicated Twitter, but like even then, it's mainly like I mainly just use it to see like posts about like from the members, see like the pictures. I don't even read like fan posts or anything, mainly because Stan Twitter is kind of scary. Anyway, I was scrolling through the pages, and I didn't really like Le Sserafim when they debuted, because I didn't really understand kind of their concept. To be fair, like the clip of the dance I thought was kind of inappropriate, and I just generally didn't like what I was seeing. And obviously I had also been witnessing like the Garam stuff when it was like first starting. And so like I was scrolling down the news, and I see Kim Garam gets booted out or something along those lines of Le Sserafim through Hype statement. So I was like, that's pretty fucking funny. Like, I'll be honest, I thought it was funny. And then like the day later I found out about New Jeans, which is another group under Hype through their subsidiary Adore. And like I remember reading kind of about Garam leaving because of like the scandals and stuff. And then I was watching, this was like a few months after my holiday, I was watching a video, and it was like, well, actually Garam was just like, she was standing up for a friend, and it really reminded me of my own situation of where I took the fall for one of my friends, and we now don't talk, which has to be one of the most stupidest decisions I've ever made. But yeah, so that was kind of one of my main like first experiences of Le Sserafim, and kind of being like directly aware of who Le Sserafim were, because like I knew that like they had two members of IZ*ONE in it. I knew that Sakura and Chaewon had been in IZ*ONE, but I didn't know that Yeonjun had actually been in Produce 48 at that time as well. Anyway, completely irrelevant, you know. I could talk for Britain about all sorts of weird little stories about K-pop and stuff, but yeah. We have 6 members, or they had 6 members, now there's only 5, and the members' ages are as follows. We have Sakura, who was born in 1998 in Japan. Chaewon, born in 2000, born in South Korea. Yeonjun was born in 2001 in South Korea but grew up in New York. Kazuha was born in 2003 and was born in Japan, spending 1 year in the Netherlands before moving to South Korea to start training for a few months. Garam was born in 2005, also in South Korea, and Eunchae was born in 2006, also in South Korea. So there's a few different kind of backgrounds with Le Sserafim, because, like I said, Yeonjun was born in New York, so she is fluent in English, and we have 2 Japanese members with Sakura and Kazuha. And this is so funny. I was actually watching the other day the documentary The World Is My Oyster, and I was like, wait, that's a really odd like family name. I've never heard of that one in like Korean names. So it's like, wait, is Kazuha Japanese? Because like I said, I haven't really done much in the way of research before. Obviously, I've researched for this episode because I've got a few notes, and I just kind of write a few notes and I list them off during the video and then kind of just expand on them and stuff. And so I did the notes, and it said like, oh yeah, she's Japanese. So yeah. So her native language is Japanese, and I believe I read on the profile website that it said that Sakura also speaks English, because in the Netherlands they also speak English over there. So she doesn't actually know Dutch. She spoke English over there. I don't know. Quite honestly, I don't know. Hello, Petal. Hello, my darling. Are you okay? Are you coming to visit Mummy while she's recording? Are you coming over? You can come over. But yeah. So half the group had already met. They did, didn't they, Petal? Yeah. They'd already met, so that was at least beneficial to the group kind of getting kind of familiar with each other. And I think that I'm not going to say that obviously the debut was rushed, because it was not in the slightest. If you watched the documentary, it was not. Sorry if you hear a few scratches, because Petal is now clawing at her. She was clawing at her post just then. But I've completely forgotten what I was saying. Yeah, so half the members already knew each other. Those were Chaewon, Sakura, and Yunjin. Sakura is the leader. I've got down on my notes that she also attended Hamlin School of the Arts, which is kind of the school apart from SOPA, which is the Seoul, the School of the Performing Arts in Seoul. Like Hamlin and SOPA are like the two schools that quite a lot of K-pop idols go to, and like you go to if you want to get into the performing arts, like dance, or you want to become an actor, or you potentially want to be a singer, or you go to when you're a trainee, because they're pretty understanding with schedules and stuff. Sakura, she was a member of, I think, it's HKT48 and eventually AKB48, which is a group in Japan. Well, it's like AKB48 is like the main group, and HKT48 is almost like a subunit, but not really a subunit. It's like kind of like NCT, but on steroids in Japan, and it was made in 2005, so it's like nearly 20 years old. And Sakura has been an idol for nearly 10 years. She was in HKT48 for a bit. Then she eventually got moved to AKB48, and then she got the opportunity to be a part of Produce 48. She was on that show, and she then got selected as the second place member on Produce 48, meaning that she was one of the main vocalists in Is One. Then when her contract was over in Is One, she then went back to Japan for a little bit. And then it kind of came out a few months later that she'd actually moved back to South Korea and was in talks with HYBE about potentially signing with them. And obviously now we know that is true. And she is now the oldest member of the Sserafim. And she was actually asked if she wanted to be the leader, but she said no, I can't deal with the pressure. And I'm like, babe, same. I think I mentioned it yesterday. Yeah, no, I think I did. Of being a leader terrifies the shit out of me, and I would never do that. I would never do that to myself, because I can't deal with pressure at all. Yunjin was born in South Korea. Don't do that, Petal. No, don't do that. Petal, be good. No, stop it. Yeah, she's back to being healthy again. She's fine. Yunjin was born in South Korea but moved to New York where she lived for a number of years, and then she ended up moving back to South Korea and was on Produce 48. And she'd actually then moved back to New York and was all ready to start university or college, as they call it over there, before she was like, no, I'm going to try this one more time, and became a member of the Sserafim. Kazuha, she lived in Japan for the vast majority of her life, and then she moved to the Netherlands to be a part of this ballet company. And she was actually approached by Hybe, who actually flew out, I'm pretty sure, to the Netherlands to basically be like, babe, can you be a part of our new group? Like, do you want to be a part of a K-pop group? And I'm sure she was like, sure, like, okay. And she ended up only training for 3 months before the debut, so she actually would have moved to South Korea around about this time, actually, or a little bit earlier. And I'm going to give like the massive assumption of my life and say that she was probably like terrified to do this, because obviously she's been like a ballet dancer for like the vast majority of her life, and to just give that all up for the potential to become a K-pop idol, that's terrifying. So I really hope that, you know, their career is long lasting and that, you know, nothing else goes wrong. And then we have Kim Garam. Yeah, like I said, I obviously was like, she got chucked out, that's kind of funny, and like, oh, good riddance. But actually, once I like learnt about the situation, I listened to the music, and you know, I actually learnt what I was thinking, learnt about what I was, you know, laughing about. Actually, it's a horrible situation, and I'll be perfectly honest, I hate the situation, and I really hope that she could have stayed. Because honestly, she was just standing up for a friend and she got burned in the process. And that's horrible, you know. We ruined a girl's life and we laughed about it. And I really hope that whatever she is doing now, because she's actually just started university, I really hope that she has a long and successful career as an actress, and that she never has to feel the pain of what she went through ever again, like from the netizens. So I really hope that she doesn't feel too bad about it, because you know, I'm sure she's going to have a fantastic career, and you know, I'll be watching whatever she is a part of, and I'm sure the other members of Le Sserafim will be too. And then we get on to the youngest member, who I was over 3 years old when Eunchae was born, and that does not make me feel old in the slightest. No, not at all. You know, she's done stuff with her life, and what am I doing? I'm just talking into my laptop, making a podcast about her, because you know what? I have nothing. No, I do have something, don't worry. I've got you lot. Anyway, I don't mind. I don't mind doing this because I was the one that decided to do this. But yeah. Hong Eun-chae is the maknae, or the youngest, of Le Sserafim, and she trained for, I think it was a little over a year before she debuted, and yeah. And to be honest, this is completely off of track of Eunchae. But again, I was watching The World Is My Oyster, and I genuinely think that girl who ended up being cut at the last minute, I feel like she should have maybe she should have come in for what was that? What was their first comeback? It wasn't Unforgiven. It was, oh god, what was the song called? Because all I've got stuck in my head is Unforgiven. but then it was, God, what was that song? Anyway, like maybe if she actually came in and then like it was still a 6-member group, so then she still debuts, and then like it's not like, you know, it doesn't mess with too much with the formations, you know, and they already know her from training with her. Like she was a part of the debut team. She already knows Fearless. Like I wonder if like perhaps that would have been a question. But actually, Ruka, she was a member of the latest survival show that came out of Hype, Are You Next? And she actually didn't make the debut team for that show, and I honest to God feel so sorry for her because that would suck. And I wonder what she's doing now, if she's like doing okay. Like I always wonder about these people who fail at their debuts, if like they're mentally okay and whether or not they just need a hug. Um, but yeah, no, I wonder if perhaps that discussion was put forward because as you can like see with the ages between the members, there's 8 years in between Sakura and Unche, and like, you know, obviously it's okay, like, because I'm sure the company Hive knew what they were doing, but you know, it's like, you know, when you're talking to a kid, you've got nothing to talk about. Like if I was to talk to a 12-year-old, I would have nothing to talk to them about because, you know, we're such like we're so like we're such like we have so we're at such different stages of our lives. It's like, well, what would you even talk about then? But I mean, Sakura and Unche are in the same group, so I mean, they're probably talking. They probably do talk about something, and you know, Unche is probably gets help from Sakura for like schoolwork or something. I don't know. Like I imagine that like they definitely had to kind of have a lot of talks and a lot of conversations and a lot of like getting to know each other, particularly those two, just because of the age difference and kind of being like, you know, actually Sakura, you can probably teach me a lot about being on stage, since, you know, she did like 10 years as a J-pop idol. And yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, they make it work and they figure it out on their own. So, you know, it's not good to speculate on that sort of stuff, but you never know, you know, it's just really interesting to think about what do they talk about. Because, you know, as you know, I only have 4 years in between me and my sister, so we can kind of talk about a lot more stuff just because of like, well, the fact that we're sisters and we've gone through the same stuff, but also that life, at least in school terms, didn't really change much in between her doing it and me doing it. Or like, I'll often give her song recommendations of K-pop songs, and she'll talk to me about university, and I would have been going to university had I actually, you know, gone to school. So, you know, it isn't too bad, but I do just kind of have to wonder, just from like a personal standpoint of, you know, what if the group had been a little bit bigger? You know, there's a member born in 1999 or 2002, and if they kept Ruka in the group and Garam stayed too, would, you know, it function a little bit less? I don't know. It's not weird because, like, they've not said it was weird, but I mean, I wonder what they talk about. But like I said, the group debuted on the 4th of May 2022 with the debut EP, mini album, whatever you want to call it, Fearless, with the tracks. I love how I'm digging myself a hole here. I'm trying to think of the debut ones. I think it was Fearless, The World Is My Oyster, Blue Flame, and The Great Mermaid. I nearly said Blue Blood, but that was an IVE song. I mean, nearly there, considering, you know, same group for a time. We're going to do live research right now. I am so professional. Oh my god. But yeah, no, they did debut with Fearless. I do know that. Oh, they released an English version of Easy. Oh, that's good. Might listen to that one later. Yeah, no, what was I coming? Yeah, it was the debut. Yes, so in Korean, we have The World is My Oyster, Fearless, Blue Flame, The Great Mermaid, and Sour Grapes. And I actually like Sour Grapes. I thought it was a good song, yeah. And then in the October of 2022, we have The Hydra, Anti-Fragile, that's what the song's called, Impurities, No Celestial, and Good Parts, When the Quality is Bad, But I Am. That's amazing. It's almost like that blooming the Psyche in the Bluebeard's Wife. It just reminds me of that. Then we have Fearless Japanese version, Choices, I think that's also in Japanese, and then they've released a debut Japanese EP with Fearless Japanese, Blue Flame Japanese, and Choices. And then in May of last year, they re-released The World is My Oyster, Fearless, and Blue Flame, all in 2023, which basically is the re-recorded versions without Garam in it. And then we have The Hydra, Anti-Fragile, Impurities, Burn the Bridge, Unforgiven, featuring Noah Rogers. No Return, Into the Unknown. Sorry. And then we have Eve Psyche and the Bluebeard's Wife, Fear Not, Between You, Me, and the Lamppost. Wow, that's the title and a half. Oh, I need to whip my mum up. I'll do that in a second. Flash Forward, and then Fire in the Belly. And then another single, an OST with, I don't know what on earth that says at all, but it's called Guardian. Eve Psyche and the Bluebeard's Wife as an English version. Then they have a few remixes. I don't know what that song is. It was Japanese. It's in Japanese. Did they say what it is? Show credits? No, they did not. But it was produced by Emise, if that gives you any context. I don't know if it does. Another couple of remixes, one with Demi Lovato. We love them. Or her. Them. Her. Yeah. We're just gonna move on. Then we have Unforgiven, the Japanese version with Ado, who I actually really liked that version. And then we have a Japanese version of Unforgiven and Anti-Fragile with the Emise track again. I'm so sorry, I do not know what that one is. And then Perfect Night, which is their English debut. Perfect Night sped up and slowed down as a remix. Is that the same song? It's produced by oh god, it might just be a completely different track produced by Emise. Then Perfect Night Holiday Edition, and then we have the most recent release, Easy, with Good Bones, Easy, Swan Song, Smart, and We Got So Much. And then literally today, I'm pretty sure, we have Easy English version sped up, and then English version slowed down with reverb. We love a good bit of reverb in this house. I mean songs. I like listening to reverb songs. Should clarify that. But yes. I think that wraps up everything that I know about the Sserafim and Garam and the members and the controversies and go through their discography. At some point I will do episodes all about the members in particular. I'm sure Garen would have featured in a drama maybe by then, and we can talk about that. But yes, it's been fantastic speaking to you all. I really hope you have a good rest of your day. I hope I do too. And yeah, I will speak to you again tomorrow.